What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today we are going to be ranking the best small forwards in NBA 2K21 MyTEAM. So lads, again, the small forward position is weak. That is all I'm going to say. The small forward position, as like we all know, it's quite weak, to be honest, but at the end of the day, you've got to, we got to do one of these for each tier. But it's gotten better. It has gotten better. That is one thing I will have to say. Is the small forward position is a lot better than it was a month ago. It is so much better. Like when I made this tier list for May, man, we still had Andrew Wiggins in S tier, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's still the weakest position, but it's not the weakest by as much as it used to be. So first up, Marion. I mean, I'm gonna put Marion into... Why did I put him? I put him in S tier just so that I could make sure that I could even this up. I don't know what I'm doing putting him in S tier, C tier. I mean, I did not mind him when he came out. I'm going to say this right now. I did not mind him when he came out. He was alright. He was a lot better than people gave him credit for. But I mean, is he good? No. So, C. English A. I mean, he's okay. There are definite flaws with the card. But at the end of the day, I don't think he's bad. Like, if you like mellow base, and it's a weird one, like, I don't mind base 55. But I hate, actually, to be honest, the next gen, I don't even mind Carmelo Anthony base. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't mind it at all. But base 55 is obviously a lot better than mellow base. It's really good. Iguodala's somewhere in between. Iggy's not awful. I will say that. Iggy, like, there are so many worse players than Andre Iguodala in this game. I think B tier is probably fair for him. But again, we've got like so few small forwards. Like, this video could be done in like 17, 18 minutes compared to 30 minutes for every other position. Because like, I'm pretty sure I put Ruby Andrew Wiggins on my small forward tier list last season or last month. Which actually, in fact, was last season, because last season was 4 weeks. But, like, no, I can't put those absolute, like, pointless, unusable cards on the tier list anymore. Even though there are a few pretty bad cards on this list. Then we got this Andrew Wiggins. This Wiggins is A tier. I think A tier is the most fair spot for this Wiggins. So, I'm going to put him there. But again, if you want to put the Wiggins into a lower tier, that's fine. I mean, I might end up... I mean, there are some good cards here. I'll move Wiggins down a tier. I think Alex English is better than Wiggins. Even though I know some people prefer... Wiggins to English. I like English more than most people, so... He's going to go. I just like his movement, and I don't mind that release. I think everything else about him is decent. I think he's a lot better than Carmelo Anthony. But then we've got Anthony Edwards. I mean, if you play him at the 2, he's alright. He's alright. Is he great? No. Is he unusably bad? No. He's fine. He's a little bit undersized, but sure, look. Again, you would rather have a small player at the 2 than at the 1. Yes, you're never going to use him at small forward, but I mean, he's decent as a 2 guard. So for me, I think that's a fine spot to put him in. Into A tier. Especially, like, at this stage. Alright. Bailey Hell, S. I know, I'm going to have to move the tiers, I reckon. I still think Bailey Hell's S tier. I think Bailey Hell's unbelievable. I'm going to move Iguodala down, Marion down. English is not as good as Anthony Edwards. So, yeah, I'll stick with this tier. And again, I really like Bailey Hell. He's basically a Tracy McGrady without blinders. That's essentially what he is. And with the Pro 3 behind the back. But still, for me, Bailey Howell... Actually, does Team Like even have Pro 3? Either way, for me, Bailey Howell is one of the most underrated cards in the game. He's a little bit small at 6'7". He's definitely a liability on current gen. On next gen, being a 6'7" small forward is not a liability at all. And for me, anyway, I think it's more of a liability being a 6'7" small forward. Sorry, being a 6'7" point guard than being a 6'7" small forward. Again, it's very rare someone runs through their small forward unless they're running with that small forward Simmons. Melo, C. I hate him. I hate him so much. If you want to put Mello in a higher tier, I'm not going to begrudge you, but I hate the card. Like, I just think he's like, imagine Alex English, but he's clunkier. And he's got blinders. He's got steady for current gen. He's so clunky that you can't use him on... He's so clunky that you can't move with him on next gen. Even though he does have blinders. It's irrelevant because all he can do is just stand there and shoot threes. Whereas on current gen, he comes with steady. And then... No, he's not good. Maxwell, B. He was really good when he came out. Cedric Maxwell was a fantastic, fantastic player when he came out. Like, there's a reason why I'm pretty sure when it came to the 250 squads, 250k final squads, I'm pretty sure Splash grinded out. I think Ty was planning it as well, but I know Splash definitely grinded out Cedric Maxwell to put him on their team. Base 3 on Quake. For his time, man, he was... I used to call him Tracy McJordan. He was like a Tracy McGrady length. He was basically Tracy McGrady length, but he was Michael Jordan. Like, everything he did in game was like so similar to Jordan, but he had the length of Tracy McGrady. He was really good in my opinion. And we got Detlef. C. I mean, Detlef's pretty decent on next gen. I wouldn't go anywhere near the guy in current gen, and by that I mean he is shockingly awful on current gen. Like, there are bad cards on current gen, but man, he's up there with the worst. For me, he's like Boris Diaw with blinders, but slightly worse as well. He's a worse Boris Diaw, but he has blinders. Yeah, that's the best way to describe him. I know that's not necessarily the greatest description, but like, if you knew how bad small forwards were up until a month ago, you would know that he was one of the best on next gen. Elgin. I mean, Elgin is just slightly better Anthony Edwards. I don't know whether to put Elgin in A tier or S tier. I'll see. But I'm very happy I've moved Alex English out of A tier, because Alex English is not even in the stratosphere of Elgin Baylor or Anthony Edwards, in my opinion. It's a tough one. I don't know whether... I'm going to put Elgin in S. He's kind of like Luka. Gervin... I like Gervin more than most people like Gervin, because I like Gallo base. Gervin is like a completely juiced up Boris Diaw. I know, again, people aren't really like that high on George Gervin. He's not worth 1,000 tokens unless you're doing it for XP. Like, if you're looking to get Luka Doncic super quick, because again, there's so many people that have got Luka. But again, for me, it's just do it at your own pace. Just do it at your own pace when it comes to like the Luka grind. I think I'm like over 30,000 XP. I'm gonna very comfortably get Luka by the end of the season. I'm not in any rush this season. I'm doing it at my own leisurely pace. But if you do want to get him quick, that's the only reason I would get Gervin. Gerald Wallace, I mean D. He's okay. I mean, if you want to put if you want to range him up, but he needs to be ranged up. And at this stage in the game, why the hell would you range up a card of this caliber? So yeah, that's one of the reasons why, for me anyway, I'm putting him in a lower tier. Gerald Wilkins, I think he's just worse Elgin. Gerald Wilkins is alright. He's a lot of good things going for him. His release is like 70's alright, that release. He's got obviously decent jumper. He's got half blinders. He's kind of like, so many of these cards, they're all very, very similar. They're all very, very similar. Nearly all these cards. So A tier for him. Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes is not awful. C tier. Let me go and put in my worthless tier players. You are absolutely a garbage man. There is no other way to describe Lou Hudson as a garbage man. He was a garbage man the day he came out. He was awful the day that he came out. He was one of the worst value cards in the game the day he came out. It's crazy. Like, you would have thought that, okay, maybe he would have been good at his time, but he was outdated. No, he was terrible at his time. I don't know why. He was terrible. Hito. I mean, does Hito go worthless? I don't know. Like, Pierce is probably better. This LeBron is probably in worthless tier. So I think I'm gonna have to put him. I think I might have to put this LeBron in worthless. I think, are there any other worthless tier players, or do I have to put in Hito? Culver, you stink. You absolutely suck, Jar Culver. And you were an RNG card. I mean, is Hito worse than this Paul George? No, I'm going to put Hito in D. Hito belongs in D tier right here. Again, it's not saying much. When you go down lower than C tier, it's into the... Normally, like with the 2 guards, I was like, you can use some of these guys that have an E tier. No. Once you go past that B tier, I wouldn't even look. Heck, I wouldn't even necessarily look at the B tier players. Like, it's a bit of a rough one, even looking at B tier. So I'm not even sure if I would. Like, I'm not even sure if I would use anyone even in C tier. Either way, though, not the biggest deal in the world. So we are going to now go to Jack Marin, who is C. Jack Marin C tier. Again, he's not very good at this stage, but he was great for his time. Like, some of these guys, again, they were great for their time. They're just outdated right now. And Jack Marin was one of them. He was great for his time, lads. He was great for his time. Worthy A, but if you want to argue S, I'm not going to complain. I think there are definitely good and bad things about this James Worthy card. The bad thing is that I can't shoot with him. And it seems like most people can't shoot with him. He is, for most people, he's either one of their favorite players or least favorite players. I've never seen a player that it's as much of it's been split as much between everybody with how good they are as Worthy. But I'm gonna put him out for that reason. Tatum, I mean, no one's got Tatum, but like we all know his animations, and we all know if he gets 99 everything, he's S tier. Is there any reason to get him? No. Just use the other 99 Tatum that's gonna play 99% of the way is good and is cheap. I just don't, in my opinion, just do not use Jason Tatum ever in 2K. Well, say no, do not go for this Jason Tatum at all, because it's 4,000. And I repeat, 4,000 cards. Like, you are going to lose in tax. You are probably going to lose for selling all those 4,000 cards the guts of a million MT. So it's going to cost you a million MT. Is it worth a million MT? Hell no. But he's S tier when he comes out. Jimmy's another tough one. I don't like Jimmy, but if you want to argue, he's S tier. Like, Jimmy versus Gervin is literally a question of, do you prefer base 40 or do you prefer base 22? I prefer base 4, or say, do you prefer Gallo base or do you prefer base 22? Like, simply put, like, I prefer Gallo base, so I've got Gervin ahead, but it's literally preference between those guys. And you can argue Jimmy over Bailey. I'll see with Jimmy. Then we got Harris. I mean, I know that release, he'll hit a wide open jumper. I've never actually used this Joe Harris, but I've used the other Joe Harris, and I know what that jumper's like. I'm very quick. He's fine. He's fine. He's usable if you're a Joe Harris fan. That's about it. Dr. J. Like, again, Dr. J versus Jimmy's preference. I prefer Dr. J, but it's preference. They're basically the same card. Obviously, Dr. J's got a longer wingspan. Jimmy's an inch taller. 22. I don't know what it is about 22. I like this Sardi. I hate it now. I've been using on a few players. I just really... It's not even the jump shot. Jimmy just feels sluggish. It's a weird one. But yeah. S tier. Like, the gap between A tier and B tier is bigger than the gap between A tier and S tier. Oubre, D. Oubre's not very good. Like, even when Oubre came out, he was not very good. Like, he was fine. The best you could have said was that he was fine when he came out. There was a bit of hype about him, though, because he was, like, the very first of the mystery players. But then again, there was just so much hype in Season 6. All for it to be the worst season. Oh, like, if you... There will be, legend... Like, this will be a story that we talk about in, like, 2K25. Season 6 of NBA 2K20. RNG reality. Where everything was based on luck. That will be That would be a season that will never be forgotten. Either way, though, Kevin Durant, get into S tier. I'm going to move some players down. You go down, and you go down. I think Elgin in the right hands because of his XM base, and especially on next gen. I think it's tough to put Elgin outside of S tier, but like I don't want to put more in S tier than A tier, and there is a gap in my opinion between the guys that I currently have right now and these guys. Especially, I might move Elgin down. Yeah, I'm gonna move Elgin down. Elgin's not in my top 5. LeBron James, Paul George, you guys round out S tier for me. Like again, people mightn't be as high on these guys. And the thing is, if you prefer Worthy to Paul George, that's fine. If you prefer, what's his name to some of these, if you prefer Elgin to some of these cards, that's fine. If you prefer Irving to some of these guys, that is perfectly fine in the upper tier. But this is just my opinion on who I would consider the best of them, best of the best. And then again, like Bailey Hell is just my personal preference. I know a lot of you guys would probably say you prefer some guys to him. So yeah, next we have got Larry. I'm putting in a weird one this Larry in B tier. He's got it. I really like Larry's release. And he's also got like 93 speed. He's got good height. He's just an all-around nice player. So for me, he's going B tier. He's definitely a debatable one, but for me, it's B. I would rather use this Larry than any of these guys in C tier. Larry Keenan. Is Larry Keenan the second worst Opal? He plays defense though. I'm going to put him in B. I'm going to put Larry Keenan in B. I think he might belong. Does he belong in A? Screw it, I'll give him A. I'll give him A tier. He's the worst in A tier though. He's okay. Okay, then we've got Michael Porter Jr. MPJ. MPJ is going, I mean, at this stage, I know clamps cost 2k, so let's just assume he has clamps. He's D. He can score. But I will say, if they give us a Michael Porter Jr. With his release, if they give us an Opal Michael Porter Jr. or a Dark Matter Michael Porter Jr., he's probably going to be my small forward. I love base 62 so much. Paul George. At this stage in the game, he's D tier, but again, you could maybe argue higher. Paul Pierce. I mean, he's low C, but he's not good. He's low C, but he's not very good. That's probably the best way that I can describe him. He's not good at all. In my team, Paige Stojakovic, like low C, but again, he's not good. Like, I am currently 4 wins off getting him in triple threat offline, and I really couldn't care less whether or not I get myself a Paige Stojakovic. And we got Sean Elliott. Sean Elliott's in B. Sean Elliott's really solid. He's got a great release. He's 6'8". He plays defense. He's not going to create, but like if you need a cone, he's fine. Like if you need a cone for your squad and you have him there, like I wouldn't. Like dude was season 6, so like it's not like you can get him now, and I assume anyone who plays in season 6 is a better option. But if you want to use like an all-time Spurs team, he's fine. I think a lot of people did use him in like their budget squads at the time. Terry Dishinger, B. Man. Oh, he's another player that we will never forget. We will never, ever, ever forget about Terry Dishinger. This guy right here. Oh, man. This guy right here caused so much heartbreak. He caused so much heartbreak amongst all of us. But we'll never forget Terry Dishinger, the dentist. Will Barton, C, but he's actually pretty good. And TJ Warren, A tier. Some people are going to argue S tier, man. I hate TJ Warren so much. Even on next gen. Like, he should be great. I don't know what it is. I hate him. Like, I had him on my team for a while. I played a tournament game today. I had to take him out of my team. I just put Robert Reed in. I swapped him with Robert Reed because I'm like, if TJ Warren's not doing anything, at least I know I can hit wide open with Robert Reed. I can green a shot in a 3-game series with him. Hitting green shot. I hate him. But he's A tier. He's objectively A tier. So yeah. This just kind of shows that the only good small forwards at Dark Matters, and you're not getting a good small forward if you have any other tier. So anyway, that's pretty much it. It's a bit of a shorter tier list, but again, it's a bit of a smaller position in terms of numbers of somewhat competent players. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.